how these people continue to actually support Donald Trump while he does nothing to benefit them, right? It's interesting how Trump supporters claim to actually be for like small government and be for freedom, especially freedom of speech, but they're willing to actually allow Donald Trump to restrict their freedom of speech, our freedom of speech. The funniest thing to me about Trump supporters is they never really understand until things actually hit them. Isn't it interesting? Right? Isn't it interesting that there was a whole conversation? There were so many people screaming like, hey, this guy's not going to be good for us. These things aren't going to be good. And now there are so many Trump supporters actually turning around and saying, oh, I can't believe this actually affect me. Right? There's so many Trump supporters who are angry now, like the Hispanic guy who voted for Donald Trump in Virginia, and then he was actually pulled over and held at pew point and told that, even though he had actual documentation, they didn't want to talk to him. They didn't want to hear from him. Guys, we're going to go ahead and start getting people in again. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are someone that supports Donald Trump. We are only talking to Trump supporters. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. So only request up if you are a Trump supporter. With that being said, Weird Thoughts. I'm just going to call you Weird. Weird, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And Kane, are you a Trump supporter?
I guess you want to get rid of me quick because I ain't no way in hell.
Oh, so you're not a Trump supporter?
No, sir. Never in life, ever.
All right. I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Weird, how are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Weird, got a quick question for you, my friend. Do you know who I am?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I've been on your live before and you booted me.
Ooh, I did? Did you do a racism?
No.
Okay, cool. You've been on this live or have you been on late nights? Was it a panel or was it just me?
No, I've been on one where you're a mod and you booted me there, and then I followed you over here and you booted me on here.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, cool. Whatever. Let's go ahead and really?
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I just got not talking to you. Just got something from someone else. Give me a second. Yeah. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well to 50 shares. Question for you, Weird. How's my audio sound to you right now? Is it echoey at all? Oh, okay. As he decided to leave. All right, awesome. Well, guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Let's hopefully we can get somebody up here soon. Someone who is a Trump supporter who is not actually afraid to have a conversation or is not weird or is not going to do a racism. Maybe somebody who can actually get in the box and tell me, what Donald Trump's best deal was. We know for a fact that Donald Trump is the best deal making president of our lifetime, right? I mean, right. That's funny. Yeah, we know for a fact that Donald Trump is the best deal making president of our lifetime. And listen, I need to actually talk to some Trump supporters because I need to understand. Listen, I'm excited to have this type of president, right? And I'm just hoping that a Trump supporter can actually get in the box and tell me what's going on. Guys, I need you to do all the wonderful things, right? Help actually get some people in here. So this is what I need you to do. If you are in the chat right now and you're watching, I need you tapping the screen, right? I need everyone tapping the screen. I need us to get up to 50,000 likes like immediately. I also need us to get up to at least 100 shares immediately. Guys, I need everyone in the chat being active participant. Doing these things would actually help push us out to the FYP so we can get more people in here so we can actually have these debates. Trump supporters, they're not going to come up on their own, right? They're just not going to do it. And so we're going to have to actually encourage them to get in the box. the way that we encourage them is by being active participants. Also, don't be afraid to drop a few MAGA calls in the chat, right? And the one that I like to use when I'm in other people's live and they're looking for Trump supporters, I always drop, Bass Pro Shop or fish profile picture, right? Those type of things. And it tends to actually help generate and help get Trump supporters in here. So drop your favorite MAGA term that helps get Trump supporters in here. Again, I am looking for any and every Trump supporter to get in the box. Get in the box. Listen, I know I'm scary. Especially after yesterday. Like yesterday, oh my gosh. Yesterday, it was just one after the other, and they just could not hold up. They came in with their feelings. They had no facts. They lied. They crashed out. It was all way too much. But, that's what Trump supporters do. That's absolutely what Trump supporters do. Guys, can we please keep tapping the screen? Go ahead and get it up to 50,000 likes. Again, if you are a Trump supporter and you actually want to get in a box, listen, the floor is yours. You know what's funny to me? It's funny to me that before the election, before they had power, Trump supporters had so much to say. Trump supporters had so much to say. But now it seems like, I don't know. It seems like they don't really have anything to talk about anymore. It's funny how you get power and then you immediately clam up. Banks, are you a Trump supporter?
Not 100%, no.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did. Okay,
then you're a Trump supporter. That's good enough for me. All right, friend. Let's get it going. Hey, question. Do you know who I am?
I do not.
Cool. No worries. Listen, I want to give you and everyone watching just a quick introduction to who I am and what this is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Guys, welcome in. Again, this is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump, get in the box. We are only talking to Trump supporters. So if you are not a Trump supporter, do not request up. This is not late nights. This is Sparring with Santana. If you are a friendly, keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up. Let's knock out the daily gift goal. All those wonderful things that actually push us out to the FYP. With that being said, Mr. Nettie, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Wonderful. Mr. Nettie Banks, I'm sorry. Mr. Nettie Banks, got a question well, not even a question. First, a statement. We can all agree that Donald Trump is one of the best deal-making presidents of our time, right?
He wrote the art of the deal, baby.
He did write kind of sort of the art of the deal. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely
I think so as well.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, since we've all agreed on that, I guess I do have a question. What do you guys consider to be his best deal so far? Right? Is it when he actually traded Medicaid for billionaire welfare? Or is it the fact that he actually traded Ukraine for Russian loyalty? We know that he's traded the economy for tariffs. It's always been a trade-off for his U.S. pride, for his ego. But we can't forget that he actually he made a deal to sell the Oval Office for $290 million. So can you guys help me understand which one of these deals is his best deal so far?
So it's your live, and I'm going to go by your rules. Do you mind if I select one that is my favorite that's not on your list?
Sure. Go ahead, friend.
So my favorite thing that he has accomplished so far during this administration at this point in time is getting rid of paper straws. I hate them, and I think they need to go.
So you're a troll?
No, I'm being dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, and lowering the illegal border encounters to the level that he has. Border security is big for me, and I fucking hate paper straws. I mean, that's just
Banks, what do you think is Trump's best deal so far?
Deal so far?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not huge into politics. I work a lot. I'm not even sure what all deals he's striking at the moment. I'm waiting to see long term what actually does happen and what actually does go on. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's
Okay.
that's up and coming. Yeah. I mean, we're what, 1 month in, maybe a month or
Over
two?
a little over a month. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, as far as movement goes and striking deals, things take time. These tariffs and things, a lot of people are scared of them. A lot of people think they are going to affect us immensely.
You don't think they have?
No, I don't think they have at all.
Wait.
Now,
Wait. So you don't think the tariffs have affected us at all?
they haven't affected me personally. No.
Oh, because it's always about you
Yeah,
personally. Cool.
So yeah, I'm head of household. I pay all the bills in my home.
Mm-hmm.
I pay all the groceries, everything. So yeah, I can honestly say they haven't. Yeah.
That's interesting.
As
When's the last
well
time you
as
went grocery shopping?
weekly.
No, when's the last time?
Weekly.
I hear you saying weekly. So does that mean that you went last, Saturday
My
or this
lady
past Sunday?
just
Like what
walked
day?
in the door right now with groceries.
So okay, so perfect. So today.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so you didn't see any increase in prices in your local grocery stores at all?
Not that significantly would make a difference in anything.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's a fair statement. Not significantly enough so it'll actually make an impact just yet. Okay, that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we gotta also remember these tariffs are not going to be permanent. They are pretty much chess moves. I don't want to say
Chess
word
moves by
play,
who?
but they are
Wait, chess moves
used to
by who?
encourage negotiations.
Hey, Banks.
These
Chess
aren't
Banks.
these
Chess
aren't
Banks.
set in
Banks.
stone. Going to be here for a long time.
Banks. Chess moves by who?
By Trump.
Okay. So who has the tariffs on who right now?
So wow, there are tariffs. Many countries around the world have tariffs on United States goods. We are going to be instating reciprocal tariffs on other countries that do have goods, that do have tariffs on our goods. But yeah, there are. I mean, there's so long of a list of what you just asked to actually name off. It's many countries.
Cool. So I guess just to be a little bit more clear and a little bit more specific, Donald Trump has paused the actual tariffs that have been placed on Mexico and Canada. There are tariffs that are in place on China, and China has retaliatory tariffs that's been placed. But Donald Trump actually backed off of those. I'm sorry?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Donald Trump has actually backed off of those tariffs in Canada and Mexico because this, you said playing chess. I kind of more think of it as like him playing tic-tac-toe. But like he's learned that one, Canada and Mexico is not going to budge because they're not afraid of him, and that's not how you negotiate. But two, they've also taken a stance.
Tactics. That's what they are.
They're not working well, then, friend. Do you think they
I
are?
mean, they're working. Yeah.
How?
You got to look at how many people have Mexico and Canada put on the border.
You do understand that both Mexico and Canada, Mexico has been sending troops to the border. They actually sent more troops under Biden than they did with Trump. But also, too, that agreement that was in place to send those troops to the northern border by Canada is already it was something that was already agreed upon in December. But also, like, if this was a deal, right? I mean, let's be honest, right? If this was a actual thing that Donald Trump was doing to actually make a deal, and he said the reason was, and I'm just going to remind you when we start this conversation, don't say the name of any rugs on live, or I have to boot you. But he said the reason why that he was so focused on the northern border is to actually decrease the amount of F drug coming into the country, which that has been on a decline, and also even a sharper decline since Canada has put an additional focus on it, but yet Donald Trump is not actually willing to negotiate from any type of standpoint from that. The only reason Donald Trump has actually been willing to move on anything is because the US stock markets has lost all of its gains since he's been in office, right? I mean, he's responded multiple times because of the stock market, not because of anything that was or was not done when it comes to tariffs or other countries or anything like that. So what are we really talking about? How is this any type of negotiation?
So yeah, I mean, it's negotiation on what he's wanting to do. I mean,
but
you gotta
how?
look at why he's pausing, because they are agreeing to some of
No,
these things.
no, you're completely ignoring everything that I just said and then just repeated something that you were thinking. Again, the actual thing that he said that he wanted to negotiate or he wanted to happen, right? A reduction in the F drug coming into the country. It has already been on a decline, and it took a sharper decline ever since they put that agreement in place in December. And Donald Trump has only responded because multiple times the markets have actually dropped. They've had massive drops under Donald Trump, which happened in 2017 as well. But since the time that he was elected up until the time that he started to institute the tariffs, the stock market had made $1.77 trillion in gains. And since that time of him starting this quote unquote tariff war until now, almost $1.7 trillion of gains have been completely wiped out. Donald Trump is only responding because of the market movement. So how is he using this for negotiation if he's not on?
Gains are only, listen, I'm heavily into stocks.
I hear you.
What you're saying is wrong.
Okay, how's it wrong?
Gains are only made when people cash out and take that out. So
what about market growth, friend? So the actual upward trend or downward trend of the market doesn't count. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, no, it absolutely does.
So if a stock is valued, just to keep it super simple, if a stock is valued at $100, if a stock is valued at $100 per share and it increases over, let's again keeping it super simple, it increases over a week. It increases over a week. If it increases over a week by $50 and it goes from $100 a share to $150 a share,
I'm buying
it. Okay, so it has gains, right? So then what happens if 2 weeks later it actually loses that $50 and goes back down to $100 worth a share? The gains that were made were completely wiped out, right?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Someone just said you guys can't hear Banks? Or can you guys hear chat? Can you hear Banks? I know you can hear me. Can you hear Banks? Oh, okay. Someone in the chat said that they couldn't hear him for some reason. Okay, got it. Yeah, so again, that's what we're talking about. The actual increase that's been made overall on the stocks.
Hey, brother, my lady and son came home. I gotta jump off of here.
Okay, well, listen, come back. Come back. I'll be here.
Trying to find you later. I'm gonna give you a follow.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. Junk, are you a Trump supporter?
Oh, good afternoon. I am currently, I am a Trump supporter.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I would say I'm not a supporter. However, I did vote for Trump.
Okay, you're a supporter, but cool enough. 1 second, real is it real Santy?
Yes,
Shanty, real Shanty.
Yes.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. Only guys, this is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. Only request up. If you are a Trump supporter, we are not talking to friendlies. If you are a friendly, tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things to let the TikTok know that we are in the building. Also, guys, you can also send a donation, and I will read your message out. With that donation, just like this, guys. W's in the chat for Christopher. Christopher sent a $5 donation saying, my favorite thing to say is that Trump supporters do not know the difference between your and your. To be fair, that kicks a lot of people butt, right? To be fair, A lot of people have an issue with that one. But yeah, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please, please, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And even over on YouTube, what up, YouTube? What up, Twitch? Even over on YouTube, if you want to actually help support, you can send a super chat. And you can donate that way, and I will read your actual message out if you actually send a super chat. Mr. Live 305, are you a Trump supporter as well?
Damn right, I'll fight for Trump.
Okay. I guess with that being said,
Wouldn't?
Excuse me?
I'm asking if you wouldn't.
Would
You wouldn't
I fight for Trump?
Yeah.
Are you trolling?
Do you live in America?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because if you live in Canada, I understand you wouldn't fight for Trump. But if you're in America,
I live in the United States of America, yeah. But why would I fight for Trump?
Then you a bitch. You wouldn't fight for the president. You a bitch.
Okay.
He's the president of the country.
Okay.
Right now, if you like
this
him,
a crash in, chat?
He's the president, my nigga. I
Chat,
don't care.
is this a crash in?
Your daddy. You might not like your daddy.
He is
but when
actually
you fight for your
crashing in.
daddy,
This is
I don't
interesting.
give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Where
He
you at,
came
bro?
in hot and heavy and just immediately started crashing out. I'm telling you, like, the love that they have for this man is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. He immediately came in and lost it.
So right, I understand. I get where you're coming from. I don't. I
mean, because wait, hold on. I'll explain to you in a moment why I don't get it.
It's a dedication to country.
Well, hold on, and see, that's the difference. That's not what we say. Listen, you and I are on the same page. That's not what he's saying. But just hold tight for me just a second, because this is a crash in. Right, this guy's weird.
I'll mute myself.
Yeah, just give me a second. No, I'll be right back to you. Hey, 305, are you okay? What's got your panties all in a wad today?
At least I meet up. You want me to
like what is happening?
You won't have this debate in person because you're a pussy.
You think so?
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Where you at?
What? Why? What? Okay. Are you? Is that supposed to be scary?
305. And if you don't know what 305 is,
yeah, stop talking. That's weird. That's weird for someone to come in and immediately crash out like that. I don't know what's happening, guys. He's very emotional. It's just very emotional. That's what happened when you you get on that Andrew Tate testosterone, right? You put a little bit too much of the juice in your system. You know, those types of things happen. It's weird. It's weird, but yeah. But it's all good. It's all love. Jonathan, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. Give me just a second here. So hey, Junk 226. The reason why I said no is because again, fighting for Trump is weird. Fighting for the president is weird. But I do believe in fighting for your country and defending your country. So there's a difference, and that's the reason why I said it.
And I'm the same way. I served my country.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you're a veteran?
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
I would say that I've primarily fought for the people that I left back here at home.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Not necessarily for one individual.
Exactly. But there's certain Trump supporters that actually, hold him up on an amazing, like they hold him up on this pedestal and they put him above all. And it's just weird. It's weird to idolize anyone, in any individual like that. And that's my point.
So 2000 and I want to say 2000 and when I got out, 2014, 2015, my thesis research paper before he even announced that he was running was actually on Donald Trump. Which was me and my wife felt, we felt that there was highly crazy that he would later on to become president, right?
That's so interesting that you voted for him then, because if you actually done research on him.
First term, I did not vote for Trump. First term, I did not vote for Trump.
Wait, first, okay, what about the second time and actually the third time?
This past election, I did vote for Trump.
Okay, but what about the second time?
Well, shit, dude. The first time I didn't vote for him. The second time.
Oh, okay.
No, first and second time I did not vote for him. The third final time I did vote for Trump.
Okay, why?
So I look at it from two different standpoints, and one. So it has not become being a Democrat nor a Republican because I'm neither. I'm neither. You know, my thing was that if war was to happen, I did not want it to happen here on U.S. soil. And so picking Trump was right. I felt that he would go and fight a war, take the war to people versus allowing it to come here, but now we have homegrown domestic terrorism and
which
things.
we've been had.
Yeah, which we've been had. But it has become, well, you can say since 9/11, it has become more of a issue. I mean, now than then. And so as far as the stock market, I was listening to you earlier. As far as the stock market,
Wait, hold on. I don't want to get off of this yet.
Okay,
because
okay.
I need to lock in for a moment here because I find it super interesting that you actually voted for Trump, especially if you actually wrote your thesis paper on him. I'm sure that you have a vast wealth of knowledge when it comes to him, his prior history, the fact that he meets all 14 tenets of fascism, but also who he is as a person and how he has conducted business practices, right? So I'm not even going to, shortchange you at all on that. With that being said, it's interesting that you said that you think that he would actually take a war to other people's versus bringing the war here. I mean, wouldn't it be better to have an actual president that more so deals with conflict resolution versus, I'm going to be a wartime president?
Man, Europeans never. It's not about the United States. Europeans have never. They used to kill each other.
Unalive.
Yeah. I'm bad. I'm sorry. They used to unalive each other. So conflict resolution. It on a bigger scale of things. No, and I would have voted. I feel as far as Kamala, if they had waited maybe 2 or 3 more terms for her to get seasoned and really was able to polish her, she would have been, an absolute great person.
Wait. Are you under the thought process of Kamala Harris not being qualified?
I wouldn't say qualified, but yes. I don't feel that she would have been qualified to take on the things that the United States need at this moment.
Cool. Tell me, can you name one other president that was more qualified than Kamala Harris that was seeking the first term of a presidency?
I mean, besides besides Obama, well, no.
Obama was a junior senator.
Well, there was probably haven't been anyone else. Everyone else has been like severely older.
Well, and again, it's not necessarily even about the age, but I mean, Kamala Harris had experience working as a district attorney general in California, right? I mean, one of the largest states in the country and the state that has the 5th leading GDP in the world, not the country, but the world. And so she has massive experience with dealing with a state that is, worldwide, right? But then also she has experience being a senator, right? She spent time in the Senate. She also has spent the last 4 years as vice president, learning from a seasoned politician in Joe Biden and making plenty of deals and actually doing some of the most substantial work for any vice president, which included breaking some tie-breaking votes that passed some of the most monumental legislation and got the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. And like, you stack her resume up against anyone else, it doesn't equate. Even like, hell, I'm sorry, I would take her resume over Donald Trump's first term in office, because Donald Trump inherited Barack Obama's economy. He passed the TCJA, which overwhelmingly benefited upper class and corporations, and it added $4 trillion. He added over $4 trillion worth of non-COVID C-19 spending to our debt, while slashing taxes for the ultra rich, wealthy, and then causing, well, I won't say causing, but being a major factor in over 1 million Americans losing their lives because of the way that he treated or handled the pandemic. And then you top that off with him actually inciting an insurrection, and at the very least sending fake slate of electors to submit so he could actually overturn the will of the people, while also calling for the Constitution to be, abolished. Like, I'm not understanding how the resumes are equivalent at all.
So I would say that Kamala inherited. Kamala, however, she inherited, California.
How does she inherit California? Did she get elected?
Because, and the reason I say, you said that she's a part of, GDP and everything like that in California.
But did she get elected?
Can the average person go to California and live?
But did she get elected?
Can the average person go to California and live?
I'm going to answer your question, but can you answer mine first? Did she get elected?
Yes.
Okay, so she didn't inherit California. Now, specifically to your question, I mean, yeah, California is more expensive than other states,
just like New York.
Yeah, but then also when you talk about these states that have
so just because you take 100, so right, you can take $1 million to New York or to California, but the average person cannot live.
That's not true.
And you take the same $1 million.
Wait. Again, I'm not gonna let you skate past that. That's not true. That's not true. I mean, again, if you take $1 million, you can live anywhere for $1 million. It depends on how you want to live. That's the difference. So it's not necessarily about the quantity of money. It's about the quality of life that you're seeking. Yes, if you take $1 million to California and you take $1 million to Montana, you're going to be able to do more in Montana because the quality of life is lower in Montana than it is in California.
Exactly. So if the environment is already there, with the people that bring in, or the corporations that bring in that kind of income, how is it that just because California have the GDP of most countries in the world, just like Texas. Wait,
hold on. So you're trying to say, hear me out. Let me make sure I'm following you. So you're trying to say that just because Kamala Harris, that's where that inherited part came from. She got a state that was overwhelmingly doing well, and she just managed to manage that state doing well. Is that what you're saying? Did he run? What in the world is happening? Okay. All right, cool. I guess. Jonathan?
What's up?
We were in smack dab in the middle of a conversation and he ran. Listen, he was about to run right into a wall though. Like he was really about to run right into a wall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jonathan.
Yes.
Which one of these deals do you think is Trump's best deal? Was it when he traded Medicaid for billionaire welfare? Was it trading Ukraine for Russian loyalty, the economy for tariffs, U.S. pride for his ego, or the Oval Office for $290 million? Which one do you think was his best?
Oh, probably is a U.S. pride for his ego.
I'm sorry?
For his ego.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Hey, Jonathan, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 16.
Oh, get out of here, dude. You cannot get on live. You cannot get on live if you're not over 18. What is happening? Michael. And either Michael ran or he was a fetus as well. What is going on? Guys, tap the screen, share the live. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 800. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well to 200 shares. Also, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoyed the information, education, entertainment, please, please, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. If you are in the box and you are a friendly, if you are not a Trump supporter, do not request up. This is not Late Nights with Santana. I'm not talking to any friendlies. Please, please, please drop out. Mossy, are you a Trump supporter?
Instantly.
No, I'm not.
You'll also get
You
$2
said-
million of
I didn't know
award-winning
that too.
All right. I'm sorry, I can't say your name, friend.
My name is Krishna Anjali, and
Krishna?
yeah, Krishna.
Krishna,
you can call
Krishna,
me
are you a
Anjali.
Trump supporter?
Anjali, and I support him
Did you
because
vote
I
for him?
think that I did actually.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you support him and you voted for him.
I support the fact that it's a new movement, and I feel like, granted, it's gonna be unkind for me. Granted, it's gonna go against the grain for me. See, for maybe you guys have probably not seen this before, but I'm a transgender person, and granted, I've lost my rights, and I'm scared.
What question for you? What state do you live in?
California.
Okay. What time is it?
It is 1:48 in the morning.
1:48 in the morning?
Yep. And
1:48 in the morning.
Yep. But
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and
What
drop
was
you because it's actually afternoon. It's definitely not morning. It's definitely not morning. Gigi, are you a Trump supporter?
No, and I don't know. I think you pulled me up.
Oh, okay. I think it might have been a
Drop
tapping
me.
error. Yep. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana 101 debates with Trump supporters. We are only talking to Trump supporters. Please, please, please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not talking to friendlies. We are only talking to Trump supporters. Only talking to Trump supporters. Doc B, are you a Trump supporter? Doc B, are you a Trump supporter?
Oops, sorry. Yes, no, I'm.
Is it Redeem?
Yes, Redeem.
Redeem. It is Redeem. Redeem, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Redeem, question for you, my friend. Which one of these deals is Donald Trump's best deal so far? Is it when he traded Medicaid for billionaire welfare? Was it him actually trading Ukraine for Russian loyalty? Maybe it was him trading the economy for tariffs, U.S. pride for his ego, or the Oval Office for $290 million. Which one do you like the most?
Ukraine for Russian loyalty.
Oh, got it. So you are someone that sympathizes with Russia.
Yes.
Why?
For the simple fact that if we did the same thing, or if someone were to do the same thing in Canada, on the United States border.
What's the same thing?
Basically strategically place, like we've done, military bases along these people's border.
And when you say we, do you mean the United States?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. You mean the United States actually having military bases in other countries because we have allyships with other countries?
Yeah, and at this point, those countries need us. We supply a lot for those countries. Those countries wouldn't even be anything in NATO if it wasn't for us. We are the head of that snake.
Okay, so following your logic, your problem is you support Russia because Russia has another country placing military bases along their borders, but the other country that's placing military bases along those borders is the United States of America. So are you mad at the United States of America while allying yourself with Russia? What's your stance?
I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm mad at the
Is it
United
Russia
States.
over the U.S. for you? Because that's what it kind of sounds like.
It's actually China and Russia and USA as a geopolitical global power That's where I stand.
Yeah, but
I'm not with the
those
smaller
countries don't have a allyship.
They don't now, but hopefully we do in the future.
Why would we want to align with dictator regimes? Why do you think? And so actually I think I know, but yeah, why do you think it's why would you want us to align ourselves with dictators?
Okay, I mean, I know everyone wants to holler like, or they're quick to say dictator, but
No, because they are.
That's
they
fine,
are.
but at the same time, they're keeping their countries clean and safe.
How?
Well, I mean,
how is Russia keeping their country clean and safe?
well, I mean, besides what Ukraine's doing right now, Russia was a safe place, buddy.
Say it again. Wait, I'm sorry. Say it again.
The crime rate in Russia is extremely low compared to here, especially.
Okay. So your
They
thought
don't have
process
people
is
running
that
in schools unaliving children either in Russia.
Oh, you know what's interesting? So this is the second time that I'm hearing you actually be pro-Russia while being anti-US. Super interesting to hear you talk about this.
I'm definitely for power.
No. You are specifically, this is the second time you've directly done that, right? Where you're speaking to the negatives and you're uplifting, hold on, you're uplifting Russia and what Russia is doing and how you're sympathizing with Russia while saying, yeah, the United States, this is the reason why. So, question for you. Where were you born?
United States of America.
You sure?
Yes, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Can
I tell you
Are you
something,
a Russian
buddy?
paid actor?
Can I tell you something, buddy?
I have a question.
What's that?
Are you a Russian paid actor?
No, sir.
You sure about that?
Yes, sir.
I don't think.
Can I tell you something though?
Sure, go ahead.
Do you know Russia was allies with the United States at one point in time?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Have you ever asked yourself, people are quick to say this or that, but have you ever asked yourself why they broke ties with each other?
Well, I mean,
who were they fighting together?
Are you speaking specifically to Russia, or are you referring to like the USSR? Or
I'm talking about specifically. I'm speaking. Let's not even talk about USSR. Let's just talk about Russia for a second. Russia was.
Wait, so do we want to talk about Russia as a whole, or do we want to talk about the regime since Vladimir Putin has been in charge? Because that's a whole different ball game.
Okay, so like I said, we created the enemy. Okay, it's not like we had an enemy from the beginning. Russia was helping us fight the little mustache man. People don't realize that
there's a lot of countries that help us fight the little mustache man.
Buddy, listen, man, I love your work, man. Listen, though, bud. Ukraine was actually participating in the unaliving of the Jewish people and Polish people. You can go look this information up yourself.
I'm not going to do this. This is weird. I don't understand these like Russian sympathizers. It's weird. It's super weird. I'm not gonna do this. I refuse. W's in the chat for Joe. Joe, you're not funny, first and foremost. But W's in the chat for Joe, who sent a $4 donation saying for Tatum dropping 40 on your Lakers. JK, much love. Keep up the good work. Listen, it took him 46 minutes. He played a season high to do what he did. So whatever. W's in the chat for Joe, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoyed the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Trump, get in the box. Is it Javon? How do I say your username?
Oh, Giovanni.
Giovanni, are you a Trump supporter?
Well, I was gonna say yes, but also the guy you're definitely onto him. He definitely was Russian.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I seen like on his profile he had like 5 different alt accounts. By the way, they're also in here, so just mind.
Oh yeah, no, I know. They're all around. It's yeah. All right, I appreciate you. Teen, did you vote for Trump? Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening here. Guys, tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are someone that voted for Donald Jimothy Trump. We are looking for some debates. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. We are only talking to Trump supporters. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This has been a wild live. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Right, it's weird. It's weird. I knew that like the whole thing had kicked up, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not playing this game. Tabasco, are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely.
All right, Tabasco. Question for you. I'm gonna just kind of go rogue for a moment. Can you tell me one thing that Donald Trump has actually done to benefit everyday Americans since he's got back in office?
Everything he's done is toward benefiting Americans, but
sure. Can you be specific?
You want me to tell you everything he just did? He signed 400.
No. I just want you to specifically tell me one thing that he did that benefits everyday Americans. Just one.
He's protecting us. He's keeping the country going. He's putting it in the right direction.
That's not specific.
And we're going to be better for it.
That's very general, my friend.
So is your question.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Okay. So the question specifically, a specific answer would be Donald Trump, since getting in office, has signed executive order, blah, 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 that directly lowers the cost of eggs or whatever. Like that's a specific example. So can you give me a specific example of something that Donald Trump has done since getting back in office that benefits everyday Americans? Because I can give you specific examples of things that he's done that actually benefits corporations and the ultra wealthy. So can you give me something specifically that he's done that helps benefit everyday Americans?
Well, the country in the state that it's in, the state that he elected to. But anyway, it's really bad. It's really bad. And
again, you're speaking super general. Like the country's bad and he's gonna make it good. Like, okay, specifically, how is it bad? Specifically, how is he gonna make it good?
Everything he's been doing is towards one goal.
What has he done? What tell me specifically what he's done.
He's got the most stellar administration that's probably ever been. He's got the best vice president that's been elected in my lifetime.
If you don't know anything, you can just say you don't know anything and you're going off vibes. Like, I'll accept that. I mean, if you don't actually know what Trump is doing, or either you know that he's not doing anything that's going to benefit everyday Americans, then you can say that as well. But just sitting up here saying things are bad, but he's going to make it good, that's ridiculous.
Well, he tied the border down with just a couple of sentences.
He tied the border down with a couple of sentences.
The border is almost locked down.
Thank you for the cake. How are the borders almost locked down?
The crossings are down below, way down, maybe double digits, maybe 100 here and there.
Maybe 100 here and there. What are you talking about?
11,000 a day. Border crossings.
Where are you getting this information? There were 11,000 border crossings a day.
Well, how do you not know that? That's the
where are you getting this information that there's I didn't deny one thing that you said. I asked, where did you get this information that there were 11,000?
As if it's not true, and that's wrong.
Where are you seeing that there's 11,000 border crossings a day?
During the Biden administration.
Where are you getting this information from?
Mainstream media, mostly.
Where specific? You've been up here for like 5 minutes now, and you've only talked in like hyperbole. You're speaking in haikus? Like, what is happening? Why can't you be specific? Why don't you actually have any direct information? You're just like speaking in general.
Because of who I'm talking to.
Oh, because of who? Oh, right. Because you're talking to someone who's actually going to challenge your worldview. And if you don't actually have specifics, I won't accept it. And that's actually bothering you because you're used to just saying stuff. And then people just saying, oh, okay, that sounds right. Because that's what you accept. Sorry, I don't accept. Just trust me, bros. I need actual information to verify the things that you're saying. And you're just talking about your feelings.
That 11,000 wasn't a feeling.
Okay, okay, perfect. You said 11,000. Where can I actually find this number, this information that you're actually speaking of? Where can I actually verify that information?
I don't want to be on this debate with you that long.
Because you don't
Come
have
on.
any information. You don't actually have any
What do
information.
you have up there in your little what's the best deal? That's all bullshit. Every one of them.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about how the fact that the Republican Party has passed a bill to cut $880 billion from Medicaid. Let's talk about that. And
That's a
specifically,
cut. That's a cut. Their budget is well beyond that.
how much is their budget?
Well, it belong 800.
How much is their budget?
I don't know that.
Okay, perfect. That's all you had to say.
They cut a percentage.
That's
of the
all.
budget.
Yeah,
They cut the whole budget.
You're
That's what
absolutely
you guys
correct.
like to
You're
do
absolutely correct.
because
You're
y'all are
absolutely correct.
fearmongers.
You're
That's all
absolutely
you got.
correct. So
That's
you
all
don't know.
got.
You
got
don't
nothing
know
to
the
run on.
budget. You don't know the budget, and I appreciate you saying
can
that.
find it out
And
in
then I
5
also
minutes.
appreciate you saying that they're cutting a percentage. You're right on both of those things. Would you like to know what the actual budget is?
Yeah, if you want to tell me.
Sure. The budget is a little over $1 trillion.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but you're cutting 880 billion from $1 trillion. How much does that leave?
I can do the math, but
how much does that leave then?
999 billion.
You can't do the math.
There's 1,000 billions in a trillion.
You cannot
There's
do the math.
1,000
You
billions in
cannot
a
do the
trillion.
math. You cannot do the math.
There's 1,000 millions in a billion. There's 1,000 billions in a trillion, and he took one of them. What is your problem? They still have 90% of their budget. And once Doge gets through,
I got a question
all
for
of the
you. I got a question
the
for you.
corruption in Medicare.
I got a
it's
question
gonna
for
be
you.
Even better.
I got a question for you. What state did you like go to school in?
Louisiana.
I can tell.
What you can tell? Can you tell a graduated valedictorian I had a full scholarship to
If
school?
you graduated valedictorian, it is a problem.
I had a 4.5 grade GPA, and I had a 4.0 in college. I'm no slouch. I took the first IQ test I took. It was a 146. I took it again for fun. I scored a 153. I'm not an idiot, man. You know, you're just trying to know what you're trying to do, and I'm being facetious with you. I'll admit it, because I've been on these lives a lot. That's the only way to handle you guys.
Okay, so going back to the question, 1 trillion minus 880 billion leaves what?
You got me done my math now.
1,000 minus 880. What is that?
They didn't cut that much.
Yes. Yeah, you literally accepted it, but then now you're actually doing the math and you understand what you're saying. Yes. The budget is about $1 trillion and they're cutting 880 billion. Yes. Now do you understand?
Yeah, I'm checking that number.
While you check that number, let me read these off, guys. W's in the chat for
Oh,
Christopher.
man.
Christopher sent a $5 donation saying, "I'm Courtney to the last donation. Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Like, oh, contrary. Oh, I messed up. Contrary to yeah, exactly. Lakers in 5. You're right. My bad. W's in the chat for Rosalind, who sent a $3 donation saying, you are one brave, good-looking man. MAGA is weird. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you so much for that donation, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're over on Super Chat, make sure that you're liking the stream. And also you can, if you're over on YouTube, make sure you're liking the stream. And you can also send a Super Chat, and I will read that message out for you with that actual donation. All right. Tabasco. Now you've done the math. Now do you get the gravity of what I'm saying?
Well, this year, if the resolution passes up, it's going to be 88 billion taken from Medicare.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you understand what I'm saying?
88 billion.
Yeah.
They still have 90% of their budget. That's what I told you. They're going to take, you realize they're going to take the cut over 10 years, over 10-year period. I mean, have you ever had a car note?
So you're saying that they'll still have 90% of their budget if they
You
take
said the budget was 1 trillion.
Yes.
Didn't you tell me that? I haven't verified that, but I'm going on your word.
It's a little over 1 trillion.
All right. So 88 billion, what percentage of that is that of 1 trillion? 88 billion.
Is what percentage of 1 trillion? Is it 10% or is it 90%? Because I think you're reading your percentages backwards.
No, you heard what I said backwards, but I said they would still have 90% of the budget left to work with because they're only taking 88.
So, okay, so if 88 billion, if 88 billion, hold on, I'm sorry, that's what it is. You're saying 88, it's 880 billion. You're saying 88, I said 880 billion.
I'm gonna try to explain one more time after this.
No. That's what it is. You keep saying
you said the cut was 880 billion.
You keep saying you 880.
Did you not say that?
880 billion.
Over a 10-year period, divide 880 billion by 10. Think about it.
If the actual budget is 1 trillion and they are taking 880 billion away from 1 trillion.
Did you mean no? You said the yearly budget.
Yes, it's a 10-year budget. It's a 10-year budget. We're talking about the 10-year. Oh my God!
I asked you what Medicare's budget was. You told me
it's a little over $1 trillion. Yes,
in 1 year. That's what you told me.
No,
that's what you said.
Their entire budget.
What?
The entire budget. The budget that's being submitted is a 10-year budget. Yeah, you are. It's a 10-year budget, right, that they're submitting, and they're slashing $880 billion from $1 trillion budget that's mapped out for 10 years. Do you understand what I'm saying now? They're leaving, and also let me be specific when I tell you this as well. The way that Republicans have gotten around this is they're not directly cutting Medicaid, right? They're not specifically saying that money is coming from Medicaid. They're specifically cutting the overall budget that Medicaid falls under and saying that you need to cut $880 billion from that committee's budget in order to get to where you want to be. And there's no way that they can cut that committee's budget without cutting a large percentage of Medicaid.
No. Total Medicaid spending in 2023 was $871 billion. You're telling me the total budget was $1,000 billion for 10 years? Come on, man. One of us is wrong.
You're definitely wrong. You're definitely wrong.
It's written right here. It's total Medicaid spending surpassed $871 billion in 2023. Now, if their total budget is $1 trillion, they only got 200 billion left. I mean, what? I don't understand you.
That's what I've been saying.
So we are talking about Medicaid. Is that what you said?
I just
Can't admit you're wrong.
No, I don't understand how we've been going in the same circle for this long and it's just getting nowhere. Like it's getting nowhere. This is wild.
Bro, big bro, stop it, big bro. He don't get it. He don't
Are you a
get
Trump
it, big
supporter?
bro. No, I don't support Trump.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. I appreciate you. Listen, I know
I
he doesn't.
appreciate you though.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say. I
That's all
appreciate you.
good.
You can drop.
Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Tabasco, I'm gonna.
Well, tell me the truth though. If they
I've
spent
already-
871 billion last year,
like
2023. What am I missing?
You're
What
missing
am
a
I
lot.
missing?
You're missing a lot. It's okay. It's okay. It's the Louisiana school system that I blame, not you. I genuinely I don't even blame you anymore. I genuinely don't even blame you. I blame the Louisiana school system.
Hey, brother. I'm Santana. I'm on your side, brother. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I just want to say something. I'm kind of confused too because I kind of agree with the man that was
gonna go ahead and drop you down, guys. Again, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. We are only looking for Trump supporters. I appreciate any friendlies that are coming up, but I am only looking for Trump supporters. Only looking for Trump supporters. BS2, are you a Trump supporter? BS2, are you a Trump supporter? Oh my God. Is it Wiz man? Wizzy man? How do I say your username?
Yeah, that's fine.
Say it again.
That's fine.
I'm Batman.
I'm a Trump supporter. He's a good president.
I can't tell if you're making a voice or if that's your voice.
No, it's my voice.
Where are we today, chat? I'm like I have no idea what's happening today, chat. W's in the chat for Phoenix. Have you heard about Trump's executive order about ICC? I have not, but I will look that up. I will look that up. I will absolutely look that up. W's in the chat for Corey. Corey sent a $2 donation saying he's playing dumb now, so he can't pretend that he thought you said million. Yeah, no, it's Corey. I know what he was doing. Also, W's in the chat for Corey sent a $2 donation saying now he's straight playing dumb, and that didn't even work. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely not. W's in the chat for Priscilla, who sent a $1 donation saying, why you kick RFK? LOL. Listen, that was Batman. That was not RFK. That was Batman. That was absolutely Batman. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump. Get in the box. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. We are only talking to Trump supporters. FSU, how are you?
Pretty good, Santana.
Good. FSU, your signal looks bad.
Can you hear me? I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but you can't hear me. I can drop.
I know I can hear you. It's just that I don't know how long.
Let me switch out my my earphones there.
Yeah, guys, keep tapping the screen. Tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get up to 200,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well. Guys, it's been an interesting day so far. It's been a super interesting day. I feel like we haven't even really gotten out of the blocks yet. It's weird. It's weird.
Hey, Santana, can you hear me? It's as good as it's gonna get.
No, I mean I can hear you well. It's not like I didn't have any issues with hearing you. It was just your actual signal. That's you have the red bars. Cool. FSU, got a question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel about Donald Trump and the fact that he is ostracizing the rest of the world I'm sorry, ostracizing the United States from the rest of the world with doing things like levying tariffs against our allies to the north and the south, and threatening tariffs all across the board. Do you think that's a good way to, quote unquote, negotiate? Like, what's your stance on that?
Yeah, I agree with him because his number one job is to protect our country, to protect our industries. And right now, we're not in great shape. So it's his responsibility to do that. So I'm okay with that. You know, our interests come first.
So how is he actually benefiting our interests if he's raising costs on everyday American?
Well, first of all, we don't know yet how people are going to react to the tariffs. I'm sure some of the costs will come on to us. But the bottom line is that we have to put other interests in their place. It may cost us short term, but long term, we have to protect our industries, our jobs, not Canada's jobs, not Mexico's jobs, our jobs.
Wait, so you're good with that's such an interesting shift for me, right? Because before the election, there were so many Trump supporters running around screaming, the cost of eggs are too high, the cost of everything is too high. But now it sounds like you're saying, oh, it's okay if we actually have to go through these short-term pains to get to these quote unquote long-term gains. So you're saying that you're good. So you fall in line with Charlie Kirk saying, who cares about the price of eggs because Trump is doing other stuff?
Well, objectively, he has no real control over the price of eggs.
Oh, I know that. But apparently Trump supporters only learned that after Trump got into office.
He has no control over the eggs. And, you know, there was other issues that were out of the executive's control.
You're not explaining to me anything that I didn't know when Joe Biden was president. But apparently this was the standard when Joe Biden was president. But now that Donald Trump is president, your peers, right, other people that support Donald Trump is willing to say, oh, you know, the cost of eggs is not really a big deal. Like we're just gonna have to get through it.
A big deal.
No, that's what they're saying. Specifically, Charlie Kirk came out and said, and then Donald Trump co-signed it. Donald Trump and Elon both co-signed it. Charlie Kirk came out and said, stop complaining about the cost of eggs. Trump is worrying about other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what's in the purview of the president. I understand that, you know, maybe some of us were blaming Biden for stuff that's out of his control. I understand that. I'm a little bit more moderate in that regard. But I also understand that some of his policies did result in inflation.
Okay. What policies resulted in inflation?
Yeah, I'll give you one, especially with food inflation. During the pandemic, the spending on SNAP benefits went up 70% for 3 consecutive years. So you're talking about approximately 50 to 60 billion dollars extra in money in consumption, and that raised the prices.
So give me something outside of when we were dealing with the global pandemic. People weren't working, they were being laid off, people were losing their lives, and there had to be additional spending to help support and sustain everyday Americans so they wouldn't unalive. What else did he do outside of that thing that was inflationary? I mean, did he pass a massive tax cut that added $4 trillion outside of C-19 spending? And you know
that's
something
a false
that's
report. I know
inflationary
you
as
guys
well.
always bring it up, the committee for responsible what is it for responsible federal budget. Do you realize that those numbers that they provide is a projection over 10 years? He didn't actually already accumulate that debt. That is projected. And if you read
How do we calculate
if you read
our debt?
footnote 1 on that report,
But how do we
pull up
calculate
that
our debt?
report. Pull up that
But
report
how do we
and read
calculate
footnote
our
1.
date, FSU?
I'm sorry, I didn't listen. Can you repeat that?
I said, how do we calculate our debt?
We calculated our debt once it happens. We do have projections and estimates, but we need to understand that they have not materialized and have not realized. And depending on how the
That
economy
projection
goes,
counts
that
towards
could
our
change.
debt. It does. The projections
Debt doesn't
count against
happen
our
until it
debt.
happens. There are projections and there's actual accumulated debt.
Cool.
They're two
Okay, we're
different
gonna
things.
pull this up and take a look at it. Cool.
Yeah, so on that report that you're citing, for example, it's a 10-year estimate and projection. If you read footnote 1 on that report, it specifically said so. It's essentially saying it's for entertainment purposes only, because really forecasting really outside of 2-3 years is kind of wild speculation.
So looking at our actual, yeah, I know he's lying. Don't worry about it.
What am I saying that's false?
Don't worry about it. I shouldn't have even said it out loud. I should have gotten to where I was going. Anywho, looking at the actual debt, as it has mapped out year over year, right? It takes a look at where debt has added and the different items that were added to our debt year over year. So our current debt is at 36. I'll just say 36 trillion. I'm not going to give this whole number. 36 trillion. Currently at 36 trillion. Looking at the actual total debt, when Trump took office in 2017, it was at 25.89 trillion. Right?
And his budget didn't get implemented until the following year.
By the time that Donald Trump got out of office, the actual debt was 32.71 trillion. And this is a breakdown at financialdata.treasury.gov. This actual amount was added to our debt while Trump was in office. So no, this is not a projection.
What fiscal year are you beginning at?
In 2017.
Okay, but you understand that the budget years overlap. So when the first year of Trump's office, half of it was actually from the previous year budget that was passed. So you have to start the year after he got where he took office. Likewise, right now we're under Biden's budget.
You're absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong. No, I mean, not in the sense of like how Santana, the actual budget runs for the time frame, but you're wrong in the sense of the actual amounts that are added based off of the presidency that's put in place. Like I hear what you're trying to say as far as like when the fiscal year starts versus when the fiscal year ends and all this other stuff. But it literally, there's a complete breakdown, and it also gives a complete breakdown of how much was added under Donald Trump. And even more so, it goes back to how you say, oh, that was a projection where clearly this debt has been added. This amount has been added to our actual national debt. It shows the complete breakdown. I hear you. This is fiscaldata.treasury.gov. The actual treasury breaks down our national debt. So
okay, let's do the math then. Let's go on a year for year then. Let's add both. Let's add 4 years of Trump budgets and 4 years of Biden budgets. And I've done the math already, and it's pretty much Trump did spend a little more. But I believe the difference was about
4 trillion.
0.3 difference. I think it was 8.8 trillion versus 8.3 is about what I remember.
4 trillion. Since 2022, or I'm sorry, since 2021, it was 32.71 trillion, and it's now at 35.46 trillion. So about 4 trillion.
You're not examining it correctly.
No, it's just not saying what you wanted to say. So you're telling me I'm not examining. I'm looking at those are just the numbers. All I'm doing is reading the numbers out.
Okay, but I'm asking
how am I not examining it correctly if I'm reading the numbers out for the years?
Then let's get on the same page. What year are you beginning the budget analysis or the debt analysis? What fiscal year?
So we're looking at the fiscal year of 20, or for Trump, I'm starting in the fiscal year of 2017. This doesn't look based off of like, oh, you know, when this actual year started, blah, blah, blah. No, this is the actual 2017. That's the year that was impacted by Donald Trump. This is the debt spending while Donald Trump was in office. This fiscal year rolls under when Donald Trump was in office. And even more so, this actually does account and speaks to the fact that the amount that was added under Donald Trump that was specifically related to C-19, and then also it speaks to the amount that was related to Joe Biden in connection with C-19. Even better than that, it goes all the way back and it talks about like different impacts that have occurred over the years that spiked our national debt, whether it's Afghan or Iraq or war. They said a 2018 Great Recession. I just thought it was a recession, but anyway, it talks about all of these other indicators that occurred during those time frames that actually spiked our debt. But what it boils down to is it accounts for the time frame that Trump was in office versus the time frame that Joe Biden was in office, and it also accounts for the C-19 spending. And so we're not even talking about the C-19 spending.
Okay, are you talking about the Treasury source, or are you talking about the Committee for Responsible?
I'm talking about the Treasury source. I'm not even looking at the Committee for Responsible Fiscal Spending or whatever.
Are
I'm
you
looking
looking
directly.
at the raw data, or?
No, I'm looking at the actual breakdown, the detailed description. There's multiple things you can look at, whether you want to take a look at the actual them explaining national debt. You can look at it by fundings and programs and services, national growth debt, breakdown of the debt. You can look at the debt ceiling. You can track it. Like I'm looking at all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I look. I guess we'll agree to disagree, but I done.
I mean, I hear you. So, am I supposed to trust FSU's math, or am I supposed to trust the Treasury Department's math?
I'm using the raw Treasury Department
So
accumulated.
wait. So, am I supposed to trust your raw Treasury data that you're interpreting, or the actual specific breakdown where the Treasury took their own data and actually published the data for consumption? I'm supposed to take your quote unquote raw data and accept your information versus the actual information that is published for consumption for the public.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen that data. I mean, I'll take your word on it. I haven't seen it. So, it may show something different than what I've been interpreting the raw data.
Cool. Let's get back to, tariffs, and let's get back to talking about where we were. Let's do that. Let's
Santana,
just,
by the way,
I
I don't know if you remember the other night, I was on a couple nights ago and we were discussing the actual Medicaid federal spending.
Yep.
And I keep seeing a lot of people saying it's 800 billion. It's not. It's about 550 billion.
Yeah, I remember you going back and forth with that. I still haven't had opportunity to look up what you were saying, so I don't want to get back into that.
Yeah, no problem.
W's in the chat for D-Spec. D-Spec sent a $2 donation saying, thinking his name is Jimothy for the last few months. That's funny. Listen, you're the second person that's told me that they got into like a whole thing with someone saying that his middle name is Jimothy. Listen, his mama name is Jimothy. I'm gonna call him Jimothy. Anyway, guys, tap the screen. Let's get the lights up. Thank you so much for the donation. W's in the chat for D-Spec. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only talking to Trump supporters. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. We are not talking to any friendlies. If you're a friendly, hey, do all the wonderful things. Tap the screen, share the live, knock out the daily gift goal. It's the little donuts. That'll help boost the live. But if you are someone that supports Donald Trump, get in a box. FSU. So going back to where we are, we know for a fact that Donald Trump is playing games with tariffs, right? The actual constant back and forth with trying to, some people would say negotiate. I don't know if I would call it negotiation, but at the very least, the on again, off again tariff war is impacting the United States and everyday Americans, from the massive drops in the stock market to Canada implementing tariffs where they are unwilling to actually remove those retaliatory tariffs. How do you justify that with Donald Trump actually causing pain to everyday Americans?
Well, I'm not going to argue a counterfactual. That means that's something that hasn't happened. Yes, I think it's reasonable to. Yeah, so I think it's reasonable. I mean, the stock market part.
What hasn't happened?
True.
Okay.
The stock market part is obviously true. The stock market has been affected,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm talking about the prices and the actual effects of the tariffs. We
prices
are
have already gone
estimating
up.
and are thinking it's going to have a certain effect, but right now,
Right, but prices have already gone up. Literally.
But the tariffs haven't been in place, so it's not his fault.
Yeah, well, no, it is because companies don't run off of the whole back and forth, will he, won't he? Like companies have responded in the sense that this is going to happen because he said that it's going to happen, and so companies make their actual adjustments to ensure that they can secure their profits. And so they've completely raised prices based off of Donald Trump playing this game.
Yeah, that's again, those are some of the short-term effects. And how much it's gone up, I don't know. I don't think there's any real definitive study out there that can point to us what the effect is. So that's what I mean by arguing a counterfactual. We just don't know yet.
Well, I mean, yeah, I hear you. But if we've been in a position where prices have already been, I mean, like consumer confidence was already down and it's down more. And we're in a place where the cost of living and the cost of goods are already high. Adding that on top of where we were at a very baseline, and a simple understanding that if you make things worse than they were, a year ago, then we're all gonna be worse off. Like, I mean, you don't even have to have the statistical data.
Well, I mean, look.
Yes, inflation is up as well.
We're in a bad situation because we already had and I'm not blaming specifically Biden for it, but we did have, if you add cumulatively all the inflation, the rate was about 5.7% cumulative inflation rate for 4 years.
No, it
yes,
wasn't.
yes, it was.
Let me pull this up. That sounds, well, you might be right. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. That sounds a little high. I thought it was like 4 something, but you might be right.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the 5 for sure. I can tell you. I remember the number 5.6 or 5.7. I had worked it out, but it was very high. And yes, we started in a bad position. Again, I'm gonna wait and judge Trump on what ends up happening, not in the short term, but after a year, after 2 years. That's how we can correctly judge it. Otherwise, we're just speculating heavily and arguing and punching at air.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. Let's see here. For 2024, it was 2.9. For 2023, it was 4.1. For 2020, so let me do the quick math on this.
Yeah, but the concerns are legitimate. Obviously, people are hurting, and we don't want to make it any worse. But I just think that this is something that we need to do to secure our place, our jobs. And yeah, it's going to cause possibly. It sounds like it might cause
it was
some sort
it
of.
was
damage.
almost 5. It was 4.9. 4.9 over the 4-year span, and that's because 2022 it was a 8% spike, which is high. Yeah, like the thing is though, right, is that Donald Trump and the Republican Party are already coming out and saying like, hey, things are about to get tough. They're going to get hard, right? They're already, like, you can take a look at the projections and the financial projections, and we were projected to actually have growth to our GDP, but now we're projected for Q1 to have 2.8% shrinkage in our GDP, which is going to cause a recession. And now Donald Trump specifically is coming out and saying, oh, give us until September to fix, how things are going to look or whatever. But he took over an economy where the job numbers were up, inflation was down, consumer confidence was going up. Like, he took over an economy that was actually doing really well, and playing these games has actually harmed our economy. And then also couple that with the fact that he's slashing federal jobs left and right. Like, all of this, he is the reason that we went from a projection of gaining to a possible recession, and he's even admitting it now, and you're not really willing to say anything about it, even though he's admitting it.
Well, I am saying that, hey, let's wait and see, and it leads that way. I think that it's going to be short term, and I think it should get better, barring anything else. But again, these are forecasting, and forecasting is crazy hard, especially with economics. One thing could change, a war pops off, something like that, and all of a sudden the trajectory changes. But you're not being unreasonable. I'm just saying, let's wait and see. And I think that,
but like, okay, I hear you. I do. And also, just a second. Welcome in, Dean Raid. Welcome in, Dean Raid. If you're just getting in, guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 300,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well. Let's get the shares up to 450 shares. Also, let's knock out the daily gift goal. It's the little donuts. Also, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please, please, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you are watching over on YouTube, you can also send a super chat, and I will read that super chat off on YouTube. So, yeah. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Trump, get in the box. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters, and we are talking to Trump supporters and Trump supporters only. If you are not a Trump supporter, do not request up. I am not talking to any friendlies. We are only talking to Trump supporters. If you are a friendly, do all the wonderful things. Also, send your daily heart me if you have not done so. It's only one coin, and it helps boost the live. With that being said,
Santana, you seem to be worried about the debt. I think
hold on
if
a
I
second.
read you correctly.
Info. Are you a Info S'mores? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a friendly. I just had some information on inflation that might be valuable to Trump supporters.
Okay. No, I appreciate you. Yeah, you can share that in the chat. You can also get it to one of my mods, and they will get it out. I appreciate you so much for coming up, but we are only looking to speak with Trump supporters. Thank you so much. Yeah, I did. With that being said, I mean, like the issue is that we know that the Republican Party, you're good with saying, well, we have to wait and see, right? And I'm not saying that it's illogical, right? But most people in the United States, they don't live off the ability to wait and see. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And when you talk about certain things happening, like a possible stoppage in Social Security payments because of the amount of firing that they've done, where you look at a system that there's never been an actual delay in payments in 30-something years, but because they came in and completely took a buzzsaw to everything, they're causing harm to everyday Americans. And so you might be in a position where you can say, well, I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to see what happens with my stock prices. I'm going to wait before I sell. I'm going to sit on my savings and I'll be okay with it. But most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. They're not in a position to wait and see. And the government is taking actions that's going to specifically harm everyday Americans. And they're not going to be able to make it past that wait and see period that you're talking about.
Well, look, are they happening? I don't think so. I think a lot of that system's automated. And we'll see if anything happens. I know you
just said the same thing. We'll see.
We'll see, but you guys are arguing stuff that hasn't happened yet. I understand the concern though. So I think a lot of scaremongering is going on. It's not illegitimate because there is some concern there for sure. But until it happens, I mean, we're kind of like scaring people. Like, how about, hey, he was elected. It's his prerogative. That's how his economic policy is going to be. We have to work with it. And then if we don't like him, obviously
that's not scaring, warning people as far as like what projections there are, things that are. Alicia, thank you so much for becoming a subscriber. You're awesome. W's in the chat for Alicia. Also over on YouTube, we do have subscriptions. It's memberships. If you want to actually subscribe and you watch on YouTube, you can definitely do so. And not only do you become a subscriber, you get access to super chats as a subscriber on YouTube. You get access to our Discord. You get access to immediate response for any message that you post, like all of these wonderful things. So please consider becoming a subscriber over on YouTube. You get a bunch of really cool benefits. I mean, like the thing is, though, is that it's not necessarily about, fear mongering. It's about preparing people for what's coming, because if the everyday American doesn't know that we were on course to have growth in our GDP, and now we're on track to have shrinkage, and what that's actually going to mean. And so, like, yeah, you see things where we're trying to curtail the actual rise of inflation and improve consumer spending, but people don't understand like the massive amount of cuts that are coming their way. And so it's not fear mongering. It's letting people know, like, hey, these things are happening. You need to be aware of it.
Santana, but where is the benefits that are going to get cut? Social Security is not getting cut. SNAP is not getting cut. I don't see it in the budget. Tell me where these cuts are coming from.
They're cutting the overall budgets for the department that house those budgets. We've already talked about that. You know that. Like you want to speak about, it's state level and federal. I'm not
Are they actually coming from benefit or in other way?
Yeah, hold on for a second. Teddy Bear, are you a Trump supporter? Teddy
Very
Bear.
much so.
You said very much so?
Yeah.
Okay, Teddy Bear, do you have a delay? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine. I just had to turn up my volume a little bit.
Oh, okay. No worries, no worries. Listen, FSU, I'm gonna go ahead and get you up out the paint. I'm gonna talk to Teddy Bear. I appreciate you.
All right, Santana, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Guys, W's in the chat for I want to make sure I'm reading your name right. Suleiman, or is it pronounced Solomon? It's Suleiman, SULAMAN over on YouTube, who sent a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that donation. You're freaking awesome. Thank you. W's in the chat. Let's see here. Teddy Bear, you are a Trump supporter, right?
Somebody in your comments is calling me an ultra MAGA, and
I just saw that.
Okay, if you want to call me an ultra MAGA, I take that as a
Badge of pride?
a badge of honor.
Why? Why are you an ultra MAGA? What's that about?
I don't think of myself first and foremost as an ultra MAGA, although I am a big fan, especially of this second time around. I wanted to say something first. You said something a few minutes ago that was just it was incorrect, and that is or maybe it was one of your panelists was saying that that the stock market is in free fall, and the stock market is not in free fall. Right now, the stock market is neither in bear territory nor are we anywhere near a correction. But let me also say this, because I don't want to stay here for very long. But
let me just at least correct the statement that was said. So no one said the stock market is in free fall, but the actual gains that have been made since Donald Trump was elected, and from the time that he was elected to the time that he was actually nominated, there was $1.77 trillion of gains made. And the back and forth uncertainty with the tariffs and everything that he's done, almost all of those gains have been wiped out, and we're back at where we were.
I
before.
disagree with that. I disagree with that completely.
I hear you disagreeing, but it's actually
wiped out. The gains have not been wiped out.
So the market, as far as where they were, are they still at the same spot, or are they back pre-November 4th area?
Right now, no. Actually, it was November 6th.
Well, I'm saying around that time frame.
November 5th. Since November 5th, the Dow and NASDAQ are both up about 4%. I'm looking at my portfolio, which includes NVIDIA, which includes Tesla, which includes BlackRock. Everybody is up 4 to 5% since November 5th.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Everybody in your comments is disagreeing with me, but okay, you can say whatever you want to. I'm looking at my own portfolio. The dividends are just fine.
I mean, wait, so are you looking at so you're saying specifically for your portfolio, not for the actual market as a whole?
I'm looking at my portfolio.
So again, it's specifically your portfolio, not the market as a whole. So you're basing the market being fine off of what your stocks, what your portfolio is doing, not on the entire market.
Okay, if you are saying that yes, my portfolio is all winners, yeah, it is.
Well, I'm not saying yes or no on that. I mean, like I will say that you did actually name a couple of impressive stocks, but again, I'm talking about the actual market as a whole, not your specific portfolio.
Okay, it may be the market as a whole. I don't think so.
And yeah, someone called it out in the chat. Yeah, Tesla is definitely down.
Tesla is not down by a hell of a lot,
but it's definitely down. Am I wrong?
If you call 3% down, okay, that's not a correction though. That's not a bear market.
Did someone just send out subs? I think someone just sent out subs.
Okay.
Guys, let me know who sent out subs. Yeah, I mean, but my whole point is that Donald Trump took over an actual market that is, that was on an upward trend and would have continued on an upward trend. Stein, W's in the chat for Stein for those sending out those donations. You're absolutely, I'm sorry, those subs. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. STINE. Thank you so much. Yeah, he took over a market that was actually trending upward. And
okay, now let me throw something else at you, and then I'll get out of your way because your panelists don't like me very much. But
okay,
let me throw something at you that's really far more important than where the market is at, and that is what Doge is doing, and 36 point whatever percentage it is, 36 trillion in debt. We have to solve the problem. Period.
Yep. I agree with you.
Okay, now
what is Doge doing though?
Doge is cleaning house.
How?
Doge is cleaning house by finding the waste in government.
What waste have they found? How much? Be specific.
Oh, I don't know what the total number is, and it doesn't matter what the total number is right now.
But it does. It absolutely does.
Because he has about 18 months to do the job.
No, he doesn't.
He was given a date of July 2020.
Oh, wait. You're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking. Yep, you're right. Go ahead.
And
wait, who is he?
Oh, we're talking about Elon.
So Elon Musk is in charge of Doge.
I guess that he is a quote unquote special. Is it a special government employee or a special federal employee?
I'm just trying to figure out, because at first Donald Trump said that Elon Musk was in charge of Doge. Then Donald Trump said that, or they said in a court filing that Elon Musk was not in charge of Doge. And even the press secretary came out and gave a name of someone else that was in charge of Doge. But then at the State of the Union, Donald Trump specifically said Elon Musk was in charge of Doge. And so I'm just trying to figure out who's in charge of Doge, and also what is Doge actually doing, because Doge has continued to take down their top government cuts, right? Specifically saying that they listed on their website that they're finding waste, abuse, and fraud in multiple areas. And then once those things get fact checked, they have to keep taking it down because that's not true. They even posted a couple of different things on as far as wasteful spending that had been eliminated under the Biden administration. And then when people realized that actual wasteful spending cuts had happened under the Biden administration, they had to take it off their website. So they've had to revise their top 5 list 3 different times.
And they're probably going to revise it 10 more times before it's done.
Because they're posting stuff that they're not actually doing.
Oh, you know something? If you go by what Nonsense News says, there are probably a lot of things that aren't really happening.
What Nonsense News? You mean Doge themselves? Because they're the ones that's taking it down.
Some people call it the mainstream media. I call it Nonsense News.
But what I'm saying is we're not getting that from quote unquote Nonsense News. We're getting that specifically from Doge. They're admitting that, oops, we actually didn't do that. And then even they're posting stuff that you can actually fact check, and we're finding those actual errors. You know, the reason why they're taking it down is because real people are finding the errors in the stuff that they're posting and saying that's not true, and they're getting caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
Okay, if you want to call it the cookie jar.
But am I wrong? Like,
here's the big picture.
But wait, hold on. No. Listen, tell me if I'm wrong though. Doge posted that they had a contract that they cut for $8 billion, right? They put it on their website, said it was $8 billion. And then they posted the proof. But the issue is when they posted the proof, the actual proof had $8 million on it, right? And so then they actually, and it had the date on it and everything. And so what they actually did was had someone go back in and and adjust it and change that to 8 billion.
Your comment section here is absolutely entertaining. That's the best part.
Teddy, you got to stay up here. You got to lock in with me. The comment section can get wicked. There's 1.8 thousand people hanging out.
Let me if we're gonna now one issue that Doge has.
Holy smokes! Hold on for a second.
Hold
on for a second.
Do you
hold on? No, seriously. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
We don't need to clean house.
Teddy, give me 1 moment. Apparently there was just
I lied about
2 hours ago.
Okay, go ahead and call me a liar. I don't care.
No. Just focus for a second, Teddy. There was a plane crash in Lancaster, PA, with 5 casualties, possibly more. It says the crash into a senior living. Holy smokes.
Where is that?
Lancaster, PA. This is what I'm talking about. Like you're talking about Doge, and you're talking about, you know, eliminating waste and all of this other stuff. But like the thing that I've said over and over and over and over and over, right? I do think there's a need to actually eliminate waste within our federal government. But the way that this administration is going about it is putting people's lives in jeopardy.
No, it's not.
Absolute.
No, it's not.
There's literally planes falling out of the sky, Teddy.
Yeah, right. That's caused by Doge. Yeah, go ahead with that conspiracy nonsense.
Teddy, they've cut jobs for people in the FAA, specifically in the FAA. They literally came in, they cut people at the top, and they've cut multiple people throughout the actual department. And now they're even they've stopped negotiations with the TSA. Like, they're doing all of these different things that's affecting our aviation department.
You know, by the way, you know why Elon is going after the FAA.
Because Elon wants to actually be up. He actually just got a contract. Freaking SpaceX just got the contract that Verizon had to actually help manage the FAA. Elon is trying to put more money in his pocket. What are you talking about?
They don't have that contract yet. They don't have that contract yet.
Do you want to address the fact that Donald Trump and Doge, all these like the unnecessary speed of the cuts that they're making is putting everyday Americans' lives at jeopardy?
Do I say that again, please?
Do you want to address the speed at which Donald Trump and Elon Musk are making these cuts is putting everyday Americans' lives at jeopardy?
I love the speed of it.
It's when you're firing people directly connected to the FAA and planes keep falling out of the sky, when you're firing people that are in charge of protecting our nuclear arsenal, and you didn't even realize it, you're putting lives in danger. When you're firing people that are working on the bird flu and you didn't realize it, you're putting lives in jeopardy. They literally had to go find these people that they fired to try to get them back because they didn't realize that they fired the wrong people. You don't think that's worrisome?
I love the idea. I love the idea of clearing house.
It's not about clearing house. It's about being smart with what you're doing. They're literally putting people's lives at jeopardy, and you don't care because for some reason you think that it's benefiting your stock portfolio. So you don't care that other people, that planes are falling out of the sky. You don't care that actually our nuclear secrets, our nuclear arsenal is being left up to people that don't know what to do. You don't care about any of that, Teddy.
You're talking a little bit in circles, but
how am I talking in circles when this is actually happening?
Planes are not falling out of the sky because of what Elon is.
How many commercial flight crashes that we have in the 4 years under the Biden administration while Pete Buttigieg was in charge of?
I remember one in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia or in the United States?
It was an American airline.
In Saudi Arabia, in the United States?
It was an American-owned airline. I remember that.
Were they flying flights in Saudi Arabia or were they flying flights in the United States?
It was an American aircraft that was in Saudi airspace.
Okay, so we're not talking about flights within the United States.
I'm getting your
how many flights?
Wild up.
How many flights?
Let me ask
in the 4 years under Biden. How many commercial flights in the 4 years under Biden actually dropped out of the sky? Super easy answer.
But let me
super easy answer, Teddy.
Probably a ton of them.
This many.
Yeah,
no, this many, Teddy.
Baloney.
0.
Baloney.
Okay, you could look, fact check me. As a matter of fact, go.
Hey.
Go look it up, Teddy.
I'll leave you alone now.
No, go look it up, Teddy. Of course he's not going to look it up because he's empathetic. I mean, he came up here, the stock market isn't bad. My portfolio is doing well. I got money. No one cares. Fuck out of here. Excuse my language. W's in the chat for Terrence. Terrence sent a $10 donation saying 47 is in charge. 47 is charging $1 to $5 million for dinner in Florida. So yeah, we know that he's been doing that. We absolutely know that he's been doing that. W's in the chat for Kimberly, who sent a $5 donation saying, for a crappy work day, thanks for keeping me company. Absolutely, Kimberly. I'm happy to. Thank you so much for that $5 donation. W's in the chat for Allison, who sent a $10 donation saying, and NASDAQ has lost 10% since December, which is a correction. Textbook definition. W's in the chat for Allison for that $10 donation. W's in the chat for Oren, who sent a $5 donation saying, you told him planes crash and he laughed, shaking my head. Exactly. That made me so freaking frustrated. So freaking frustrated. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Also, if you are over on YouTube and you want to send a super chat, you can actually send a super chat to support, and I will read that out as well. Guys, if you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Trump, get in the box. We are only talking to Trump supporters. This is Sparring with Santana 101 debates with Trump supporters. I am sure, I am positive that Trump supporters are running scared more now than ever, right? I mean, because you have certain Trump supporters who don't really know anything, and they might be willing to have a conversation. Yeah, but then you have like let's just keep it funky. You have Trump supporters like Teddy who are willing to show who they are. Teddy came up here with his whole chest and just told us that everything was okay. Came up here with his whole chest and said that it didn't matter that planes were falling out of the sky. Like, that's insane. Steve, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, red nigga, yeah, gray nigga,
That's weird. That's absolutely weird. And again, like you're a weirdo, right? It's weird. I just don't understand why people are so weird. People are so weird. W's in the chat for Barbara. Barbara sent a $20 donation. Thank you so much for that $20 donation, Barbara. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you. W's in the chat for Barbara, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. Yeah, like, I mean, we know who these people are, right? We understand who these people are. We understand who these Trump supporters are. We understand that they are completely disingenuous. We understand that the simple fact of the matter is they don't care about other people. Every single Trump supporter comes up here and say, well, it hasn't affected me directly. We were talking to FSU, and FSU was saying, well, or no, the other guy was saying, well, you know, I go grocery shopping and I haven't seen anything that impacted me yet. Not enough. They don't care unless it actually impacts them. They specifically don't care. And for anyone to sit here and say, oh, you need to wait until it happens. Why? Why do we need to wait until the bad thing happens to call the bad thing a bad thing? That's stupid. That's stupid. If we can see that if we're driving a car and it's getting ready to go off the side of a cliff, we don't need to say, well, looks like we went off the side of a cliff. If we can't turn left or right and it's going off the side of the cliff, we're going to say that we're going off the side of a cliff. But for some reason, Trump supporters think that, oh, you're fear mongering. No, if we can see the cliff coming, why wouldn't we call out the cliff? The reason why we're calling out the cliff is so we can avoid going off the side of the cliff. This is absolutely insane. These people are nuts. Nuts. 8 something. How are you, my friend? Again, not only that, but like not only are they insane, right? But they're like super weird. That's the interesting part about like all of this. They're insane, they're weird. They're insane and they're weird. And the same person who just came up, right, is he comes up on everyone's live and he plays the same song. And I don't know if he thinks that, you know, oh, it's cool, or oh, it's the dumbest thing ever. And I'm not like other, you know, people that stream. I'm not like other people that stream that actually you know, get worked up or worried or no, like first of all, I'm a black man from the South, and you need way more racism than that to actually get to me. So that whatever.
What's up, Santana?
How's it going, Red Wing? I'm sorry, give me a second here. Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 300,000 likes. Guys, W's in the chat for Kimberly. Kimberly sent a $3 donation. Kimberly, thank you so much. Thank you, Kimberly. You were amazing. Kimberly said, I'm pretty much broke, so I can't offer much, but I wanted to show I appreciate what you're doing. Kimberly, thank you. I mean, that means the world to me, honestly. Thank you. W's in the chat for Kimberly. You are absolutely amazing. W's in the chat for Courtney, who sent a $15 donation saying, love listening to you school MAGA fools. Keep spreading the truth. Thank you so much for that $15 donation. W's in the chat for Christopher. Christopher sent a $10 donation saying, for being my favorite creator. Also, shout out to the Mod Squad. W's in the chat for Christopher. What up, Chris? Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Trump, get in the box. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. Hey, Red Wing, got a question for you.
What's up, man? Can you
What
hear
do
me
you think about?
First of all,
yeah, I can hear you. Okay. What do you think about the fact that planes keep falling out of the sky, and Donald Trump has massively cut the FAA?
Well, first of all, I don't really approve of how they're going about their cuts. I do see, you know, why they're doing that, right? And I think that they've kind of realized it, and that's why they're pushing Elon to the side, and they're saying, you know, they did that. Not department heads. What do you call them? The secretaries, right? They did the secretary meeting, and it seems like they kind of, you know, told Musk like, "Hey, man, you got to chill out. You got to, instead of coming to this with a chainsaw, you need to be using a scalpel." Right. Yeah. And, you know, so I think they're realizing their mistakes.
Let me say this, right?
That's what it appears.
Just the level set for a complete second. Like, I agree with there needs to be a reduction in overall, you know, spending and the size of the government and all this other stuff. I don't agree with you and I agree as far as things like that's not how it's supposed to happen.
What's your reasoning for saying that you agree with it? Like what do you not like about the size of the government?
No, I mean, I think that the
deficit.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's multiple things, right? I think they're in the sense of like the way that we spend. I like, for me, there's a lot of wasteful government contracts, right? But the problem is that a lot of those wasteful government contracts happen within our Defense Department, and that's the department that we're not even necessarily addressing. I hate
agree.
that they're cutting like actual places that need to be cut. So
I don't know if you remember, but you know, I'm prior military. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah,
right. So I saw, you know, 21 years of that, and I could speak on a lot of it. You know, so I definitely agree with you there. DOD, there's a lot of wasteful spending.
Yeah,
from top to bottom.
And also, like, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you know, Trump can't do this, Trump can't do that. Like, I've said this a million times. Yes, elections have consequences. Donald Trump, he wants to put JFK in charge. Like, that's
RFK.
The freaking consequences of RFK. You're right, RFK. Like, those are the consequences for people not getting out and voting and things like that. I don't think there should be like this massive overreach, but like there's certain stuff that he should be able to do that he's done or whatever. And so like reducing the size of the government, okay, I understand, but like just taking a chainsaw to it is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. And I think that they realized that, you know, once they started getting pushback from the public, that, and then also the secretaries within those organizations, they were like, hey, you're laying off people that we actually need, like what you were talking about to the guys earlier. You mentioned like the nuclear stockpile, like people that are in charge of that kind of stuff. You know, once they got like slapped on the hand a few times, that's when they wised up and they started like actually changing the way that they're doing things. You know, so at least they're receptive to that. You know, I know they did make some mistakes. And you know, I've talked to you a few times before, and you know, I've admitted, right? I know that Trump's not perfect, right? And neither is any other president, right? They're going to make mistakes.
For sure.
You know, they're human, you know, so they make mistakes, but you know, and I'll be the first to call him out on it, right? Even his previous administration, like, you know, Second Amendment is one of the things that I'm very vocal about, right? You know, we were talking about it last night, you know, the bump stop ban. That's one of the things he did. And just like all the previous presidents, they infringe on our Second Amendment rights. You know what I mean? So he's no different.
Yeah, but not like
in that manner, you know.
I mean, like, yeah, there's been conversations back and forth about, you know, what they will or won't do or blah blah blah. But
he did
like,
it. No,
yeah,
he
exactly.
actually did it. He's what's the word? He sicked the ATF on the American public and infringed on our rights unconstitutionally, right? It's supposed to be Congress to make those kind of laws, but he used the ATF to do that, you know. So yeah, he definitely he messes up, right? But I think back to the, you know, the downsides in the government, I think that they're realizing that they made some mistakes and they're trying to correct that and go in the right manner and let their secretaries handle that, you know. But I don't believe that that's the only solution.
But what happens when you there's a lot of people that Donald Trump has put in place that are absolutely inept. Like I'm just going to be honest.
Anybody in particular?
I think
like who's the worst? Who's your number one where you
Pete
actually
Hegseth.
think this?
Pete Hegseth.
Okay,
he is
has he
not.
made any mistakes yet?
He is not qualified to be the head of DOD.
What is the qualification then? You know
Well,
what I mean?
like more so.
Do they have to be a 4-star? You know.
I mean, I would prefer it. I mean, now that's just a preference, but even more so, I think that the limited actual experience that he had, as far as one, being a leader within the United States military, and two, the actual time away that he's had within the United States military, actually is a negative as well. And we're not even talking about his character flaws, right? Which he has a ton of them.
I actually agree with you on most of that, right? Most of that I do agree with you. You know, I definitely had some qualms with him being selected to SecDef, you know, but if you look at our, like, historically, most of our previous SecDefs, they created a whole lot of problems within the military and, you know, around the world, right? That was their fault, you know, between them, the president, right? They created a whole lot of problems. So, you know, I think it's to be seen whether or not he does that exact same thing that the previous ones have done. You know, I'm really hoping not. I mean, we're taking a gamble here.
Even the thing that I wouldn't have a problem with, and this is like in general, right? With Trump appointees, with Trump, like, if they were willing to actually put the right people around them and let the right people guide things, like, even if they had a certain agenda that they wanted to get done, as long as they were willing to have the right people around them to help guide them and at least keep them in the lane, like, okay, right? But when you do things like firing the Joint Chief of Staff, like just decorated generals, because they don't fit your, you know, your whole thought process, because basically they're going to tell you no. And then you bring in someone who's on record with saying that I'll unalive people for you.
Yes, man.
Like, that's insane.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know, and I don't agree with a lot of the things that he does regarding that, right? I just think back to his previous administration. You know, he put people in there that, you know, it seemed like he was listening to somebody, right? He was listening to somebody, and he put these people in there expecting them to do the job and, you know, carry it out responsibly.
And he was
right?
pissed about it when they actually did their job, though.
Yeah, but they were fighting against him with some of the things where they shouldn't have been fighting against him, they were doing, and it was like they were ass backwards. I don't know. It was they were kind of all over the place on the first
what it was is that
but
Donald Trump wanted to do things that was unconstitutional, that was legally immoral. Like, I mean, when he talked about his first term, when he talked about, you know, hey, can we pew pew protesters with rubber bullets? Like, what are we talking about? And even when he talked about, like, him saying, oh, I wish I had generals like the Mustache Man. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not sure why it's
the reason why he continued to talk about how, you know, he wants to get quote unquote woke out of the military.
I don't really see how you would use any of those generals as a reference to say that, like, you're, you know, look up to them or anything like that. They ended up losing.
Yeah,
our American generals
I mean,
were
but
the
you
ones
know,
that, and
we can't
or even
really
the
talk
Russians,
about We can't really talk about losers because they're putting back statues of, you know, Confederate losers and renaming military bases after Confederate losers. So we can't really talk about losers because they love the losers here. See, my mom just joined. What up, Mama Jones? Guys, drop some W's in the chat for my mom. I see she just popped in. Anyway, yeah,
Good
I mean,
evening,
like,
Mom.
yeah, like they literally we have our own losers here, and they are, you know, they're still praising those losers.
Yeah, I know. I know that they get off the beaten path on some issues, and you know, I don't know if it's like they're trying to just get like small wins and they're thinking it's going to like rally their base or something. But me personally, I want them to focus on the things that's going to like bring both sides, you know, people from both sides of the aisle, bring us up together, right?
But you know
that's
they're
what
not
I'm
going
more
to do that,
interested
right?
in. Well, it appears that they do on some things, you
But
know,
they've
not a
literally
lot.
already
I don't
said
know.
they're like, well, first and foremost, this is the problem that I have. They have all the power, right? They have all the power and they can actually pass whatever they want to do
Right now.
Yeah.
No, I think they have to have 2/3 of the vote within the Senate though, and they don't have that right now.
No, they have enough
So
where
they
they can
do.
actually get they don't have the 60% vote, but they do have enough to actually get any type of emergency legislation or hyper focused legislation passed. So they can get those through with votes. But with that being said,
Well, the budget is going to be a holdup. I don't know. I don't agree with you on that. I think when it comes time to the budget, they're not going to be able to pass it.
I don't think so. I think they're going to pass it just like they passed
Are
it
you
the first time.
You sure?
I'm positive.
I swear they have to have.
I
thought they
genuinely
have to have 2/3.
No, I genuinely believe that they are going to get that budget passed.
Do
No,
you agree with
they
them
don't need
passing
60.
the budget?
No.
What's
Not
your
at all.
reasoning for not wanting the budget passed?
I'm not in agreement with cutting social safety nets, especially to that actual extent. And the massive overwhelming reason for them wanting to get the budget passed is so they can actually, you know, give billionaire welfare, right? I mean, like they talk
which
about
they shouldn't do that.
in which they talk about like, oh, you know, we want to save money. You can't say that you're looking to save money and then immediately turn around as soon as you have quote unquote savings and then give out tax cuts to rich people that's going to add to the debt. And that's what they're doing.
And when you describe that, are you referring to like the lower interest rates for businesses? Because I think that's the primary thing that a lot of people get.
Yeah, I
get
mean
hung up on.
the not only businesses or corporations, but also the ultra wealthy. I mean, if you take a look at the actual impacts
Like
of what,
specifically, though.
yeah, I can pull it up. I can tell you exactly what it's going to do.
I'm just not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's going to raise taxes on everyone while decreasing taxes on or you know what? I have it. As a matter of fact, here I have it here. It's going to raise taxes on everyone except the ultra wealthy, right? And
So,
this isn't even necessarily talking about the corporate taxes. So if you make anywhere under 28,600, your taxes are going to go up by 4.8%. If you make between 28.6 to 55.1 thousand a year, your taxes are going up by 3.5%. If you make 55.1 to 94.1 thousand a year, your taxes are going up by 2.1%. If you make 94.1 to 157.5, your taxes are going up 1.4%. If you make 157.5 thousand to 360,000 a year, your taxes are going up by 0.3%. And then anything above that, you get tax savings.
What's your source?
The itep.org. The Institute of Taxation and Economic Policies, and it's based off of the projections of the proposed budget, including the ramifications of the similar budget that was, the similar TCJA that was already passed.
Right. So, I definitely agree with what your point is, right? Lower income people paying more taxes. I don't like that. Right. I'm a strong, proponent of people that make, like, let's just say hypothetical under 50K or 100K, making paying significantly less taxes. Right. I don't agree with how they're handling this tax issue that you're talking about.
What's jacked up though, and like this is the I'm going to say poop storm since my mom is here. Since I know my mom is watching, I'm going to call it a poop storm. This is the poop storm, right? At the same time that they are trying to institute these tax cuts, they are slashing jobs. They are also implementing tariffs, which is raising cost of goods. And then they are removing certain protections for student loan payments, and it's directly benefiting, those people that have to repay student loans. And then they're also cutting at the same time not only employment but funds to the VA, which is going to rise up houselessness. Right, all of these things are happening at the same time. Like,
what was that one part about the VA?
They've cut jobs and funds from the VA.
I didn't see the funds part. I did see the proposed. I think it was 80,000 jobs.
Yeah,
the VA,
and
which, I mean,
they're
they have
cutting the
500,000
VA's
people.
budget as well.
Yeah, I didn't see the budget cut.
Yeah, it's in the proposed tax plan. It's not as massive as the other budget cuts that are being proposed, and that's why people aren't falling all over like they are when you talk about Medicaid or when you talk about SNAP benefits. But there's still cuts to it while cutting people as well.
Yeah.
And so all of this at one time is just gonna, like, it's horrible. Like, you put all of these things together at one time, like that's gonna crash the country.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't believe that's going to crash the country. I just don't believe that's extreme. It's not like an extreme scenario that they're creating. I mean, I picture, and of course this is my opinion, I picture that they're doing small cuts or small changes here and there. Yeah, it might equate to quite a bit, but I don't believe that's going to the sky's not going to fall and collapse the country.
Again, like, my whole point is, if you were doing like these things one at a time, yeah, I mean, we could sustain each hit one at a time and then have like an adjustment period where you find a new normal, and then you take another hit or whatever. But like, you're doing all of those things at one time, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I believe I know why he's doing that though, right? And it's because, well, what my opinion is because I think that the pushback that he received during his first administration with anything he was trying to get done, right? He wanted to just go ahead and try to get all these things you mentioned done this administration before people would have a chance to push back against him. Even if it's right or wrong, he's still going to take a jab at it. Like with the Supreme Court, where they just ruled that he couldn't cut, what was it, USAID? And that's Congress is supposed to be doing that, right? Even though he tried to do that, and Supreme Court was like, no, you can't. And he's going to make some mistakes and try to do some things that he shouldn't be doing, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got the Supreme Court to have that balance, right? The balance of power.
Well, but then
he just got to listen
him
to
like
him now.
exactly. You just literally took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, he's got to listen to him, right? And I think we're going to see whether he's not, or if he is or he isn't, right? But that goes back to like with President Biden with the student loans. Didn't they rule that he couldn't do that, and he did it anyway? Right?
No, that's
you sure about that? Because I thought that he did.
No, so what he did is they definitely ruled that he couldn't do it, and he restructured it to a way that he could actually get it passed, and that didn't violate the rule of law. So I mean, being honest, there's ways to do everything that they want to get done. It's just whether they're willing to actually go through those steps to get those actions completed, right? And Donald Trump has shown that. Well, yeah, that too. But Donald Trump has shown that he is actually someone who is unwilling to actually do things in the right way. So there's multiple things that's been there. He doesn't want to do the right way.
Yeah, I could see it in a lot of situations, and I think his reluctance on going about it, like the way that you and I would prefer him to do, right, is because like the elected officials in Congress on both sides of the aisle, they're going to fight against certain things, even if it's right. You know what I mean? So like for instance, what you mentioned earlier, how you would prefer a smaller government. When it comes to a lot of these elected officials, like they have interests within some of these things that he wants to cut. And you and I could probably agree that it does need to be cut in those situations, but Congress does not want to because they have an interest in it.
I mean, like,
so he's like, he wants to go around them.
Well, they proposed cuts to the PAC Act, right, which was just a bipartisan bill that was passed that specifically helps veterans, and they're already proposing cuts to that, which was something that they championed, and now they're good with saying, oh, yeah, we don't care about veterans that actually have been harmed in the line of duty. We're gonna just let this money be taken from them.
Well,
like you don't
is
see
there
many of those.
anything?
No, I was just going to say, you don't see many of those Republican politicians standing up to him right now.
Well, what specifically are they cutting, or what are they proposing to cut within the PACT Act? Like, so me being a veteran, right? I'm not going to say just because they're proposing to cut something within the PACT Act that they're anti-veteran. You know what I mean? Like, I got to know the details. The devil's in the details. You know what I mean? So I want to know specifically, like, what are they trying to accomplish?
Well,
some of these.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's that? I was just going to say, some of these bills, they cram so much different things in it instead of, spacing it out, 3 bills. Let's just say 3 bills, what they're trying to accomplish. They put 10 different things in there that are unrelated to the PACT Act. And are they trying to cut that? The fluff.
Yes.
Earmarks.
They're cutting $20 billion. They're cutting $20 billion from the PAC Act for the cost of war toxic exposure.
Yeah, I don't know why they would be doing that.
Yeah, so $20 billion is being cut from that actual amount from the PACT Act.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but again, like it's absolutely insane that they are willing to do that. And I mean, again, you can say they're not anti-veteran, but then when you see them doing this, along with cutting appropriations for the VA, while firing people in the VA, while cutting certain benefits from the military, right? Because they want to specifically target transgender people. Like, it's all of this is an attack on veterans, which we supposed to actually honor and take care of, and the Republican Party is being harmful towards them.
Yeah, I partially agree with you. The only portion that I want to push back on you, is definitely the job cuts, right? So the 80,000 people, I'm not sure if that's the appropriate number for the VA that does need to be cut, right? But like any other agency, I'm in it for the good and the bad, right? And some of these things I don't agree with them, right? Just like if I was to vote for, Biden or Harris, I'm sure they would have done things that I wouldn't have agreed with. You know what I mean?
And which I mean,
and
again,
I did agree with some of the things they did do. You know what I mean?
Well, and
I've
like
been a
the whole
conservative
point,
my whole
though,
life.
Red Win, is like, so this is the thing that I don't get wrapped up with when it comes to politics, is like when politicians actually do certain things, right? Because I know for a fact that they are specifically doing certain things to actually accomplish goal A or goal B or whatever. But when you take someone like the Donald Trump and the Trump administration, who are clearly doing all of these things under a thinly veiled thought process behind it, oh, we want to help protect the government, when we know for a fact that the real point of what they're doing is trying to get something passed that's going to be overwhelmingly beneficial to billionaires. Like, that's the problem. And again, if you talk about these things in a silo, okay, but then when you talk about all of this at one time, it's insane.
Yeah. I definitely think it's important for people on both sides of the aisle. So like me, your listeners, other people that support Trump, if you don't agree with something, you got to be vocal about it, right? Contacting the senators and representatives, writing to them.
What happens when Rare Win? What happens when you
pay
have
attention to that?
Yeah, but what happens when you have the Republican Party telling their members to no longer hold town halls because of the negative reaction they're getting from their constituents?
Are they actually Republicans showing up giving them a hard time?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
Yes,
I mean, I watch a
Republicans
lot
in
of
these
social media and news. I haven't seen it.
ultra red areas, and they're showing up and they're like saying they're letting them know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play a video for you just 1 second so you can hear it, guys. W's in the chat for Damon. Damon sent a $10 donation saying you're better than me, man. W's in the chat for Damon for that $10 donation. You are absolutely too kind, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Also, make sure you're following me on all the social medias. Make sure you're following me on all the social media sites, especially YouTube. Santana Speaks on YouTube. Santana Speaks on YouTube. I am so close to 3,000 followers. There's 1.5 thousand of us right now that's watching, guys. Following on YouTube, of course, is free. But if I can somehow get over that 3,000 follower mark on YouTube, I would be absolutely thrilled by that. But yeah, make sure that you are following me on all the social media sites, and we're gonna go from there. I'm pulling up this video specifically so you can actually hear it. So the video is
what state?
Give me a second. I had to get to the right spot. The video is specifically.
I was just gonna say, before you play it, they're not gonna shut me up, right? If there's something they are doing that I disagree with, I'm still going to be vocal. They can, whatever representative it is trying to shut down town hall, they're not shutting everybody up, right? That's their opinion. That's that one person. They're not shutting us up. Okay.
But that's the thing. All right. I mean, like they're literally trying to find ways to silence people's voices. And then you got people like Donald Trump, who is proposing to actually, put people in jail for using their First Amendment right. Like literally, Donald Trump is saying that people using their First Amendment right needs to go to jail.
Yeah, so I don't agree with him saying that. First Amendment is another subject I'm have very strong opinions on. Right, Trump saying something like that, I don't agree with it. Right, just like I didn't agree with what Biden was doing during his 4 years. Right, where he was going after, or excuse me, his administration was going after X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it then, and Facebook. And recently here Zuckerberg, even admitted what they were doing, in regards to C-19 and suppression of freedom of speech, right?
Oh, we can talk about
all
that.
these.
That's
all these since 2001, all these presidents have done it. Every last one of them. You know what I mean?
Well, we can talk about that whole. So let me do two things. I'm gonna play this video, and then I saw someone in the chat saying, "Oh no, he didn't," and I'm lying. Cool, I'm lying. Don't worry, I have receipts. But this is Republican Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas, and this is his district. Very Republican, very listen, Red Wing. You know me, I call it how it is. Very white, very white.
If I'm wrong, I like to be proven wrong. It's learning. It's a learning experience, right?
This is what they said.
Doing right now, as far as cutting out those jobs, a huge percentage of those people, and I know you care about the veterans, are veterans.
Yes.
And that is a damn shame.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a damn shame.
I'm not a Democrat, but I'm worried about the veterans.
So that was him speaking to his constituents. And they specifically said, and they're talking about the same thing that you and I have been talking about, right? The fact that they're not Democrats, but they're worried about the veterans. And it seems like everybody's worried about the veterans and these cuts that are occurring, except the Republican Party. Oh, wait, you guys said you couldn't hear it?
Yeah, it was kind of difficult to hear. I put
Hold on, let me play it again. I didn't play it that loud. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'll play it again. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Can you put the link in your chat so that people can watch it? Like, I'll come back to it later so I can watch it.
Is doing right now, as far as cutting out those jobs, a huge percentage of those people, and I know you care about the veterans, are veterans.
Yes.
And that is a damn shame.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a damn shame.
I'm not a Democrat, but I'm worried about the veterans.
Yeah. So
I'm missing kind of the context of what they're actually talking about.
So basically what the constituents was saying that he's the actual cuts that are occurring are affecting the veterans, and he said that he knows that you care about the veterans. And then another guy chimed in and said, I'm not a Democrat, but I care about the veterans. And so the whole thing that they were speaking to was the fact that the Republican Party is getting behind these cuts that are massively affecting veterans, where they're supposed to be pro-veteran. I mean, there again, it goes back
so
to
they're
them
making some
being
mistakes.
overall overwhelmingly harmful. And for anybody that's looking up or looking for the actual information, if you want to find that, all you got to do is look up for it's Republican Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas, and you can look up his town hall that he held, and this was on March 1st. He held the town hall on March 1st. Republican Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas. You can find that video, but there's that's multiple examples of all of these different town halls that have been happening. And now the Republican Party is saying, stop holding these town halls because it's getting
that's
bad
the part
for them.
I haven't seen. What that last thing that you just said, I haven't seen where anyone has been saying to not hold town halls anymore. You know, even within that sound clip that you played, I didn't hear him say, don't do this anymore, like what you just suggested.
No, I'm not saying no. The clip that I actually played comes from the actual blowback that they've been getting. But the actual information, if you want to read more about it, there's a Politico article that speaks directly to it. So it's politico.com/live-update/03/04/Congress/Richard-Hudson-0021004. But it speaks to how the GOP chairman has told Republican lawmakers on Tuesday to stop holding in-person town halls amid a wave of huge backlash over the cuts undertaken by President Donald Trump's administration. And then it says here that the Republican, the NRCC chair, Republican Richard Hudson, delivered the message in a closed-door meeting to the House Republicans. So yeah, that's where we are.
Who's that GOP person? That's not Laura Trump, is it? She's out of Florida.
It's Richard Hudson. He's the
That's
chair
the representative.
for the right. He's the chair for the NRCC.
Okay.
But yeah, they had
people aren't going to stand for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I
They
don't
could
know
try.
if you're seeing these actual town halls, but it's getting really bad for those Republicans that are doing this town halls.
For the officials.
For the Republicans, yeah.
Well, see, that's what they get, though, right? If they make mistakes, they got to own up to it. And you know, the voters that are showing up, if they got an issue with what they're doing, they're going to say it, right? So, and if they decide not to do town halls, we'll show up somewhere else, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. They can try to shut us down, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, and I mean, like I hear you, but when they're literally dodging and running from the actual people that they're supposed to serve, like that's a problem. That's a problem because they are no longer they're no longer willing to actually be accountable, right? So, and let me read this off for you real quick. First, W's in the chat for self-love. Self-love sent a $5 donation saying he said that he would do it and he still voted for him. Yeah, they're talking about you, Red Win. W's in the chat for self-love for that $5 donation. Thank you for the heart hands. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Donald Trump put out on a post on Truth Social, and he was talking about the protests that are happening on college campuses. Specifically, he's been trying to make laws that actually stop people from protesting. Yeah, protesting what's happening with Israel and Palestine. Thank you for the cap. And he specifically in his Truth Social post said, all federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protests, which again, what's an illegal protest? That's wild. And then he also said agitators will be imprisoned or permanently sent back to the country which they came from. American students will permanently be expelled or, depending on the crime, arrested. No mask! Exclamation point. So he's literally trying to stop people from practicing their First Amendment right.
I mean, I'm basing off the term illegal that he's using, right? So if
What's
you're
an
doing legal
illegal
protest, well, so for instance, if you're surrounding the, let's just say whatever university, you're on the sidewalk, you're holding up your signs, chanting whatever, loudspeakers and stuff, they can't say anything to you, right? That's legal.
Have
right?
you
But
seen
if
the
you're on a
protests that have
campus,
been happening?
I did see them marching down the street. Yes, so I believe that would be illegal, right? If you're blocking the flow of traffic,
No.
you're shutting down businesses, breaking windows, and that's
Breaking
illegal.
windows. Now, property crimes, yeah,
right.
but they're not causing
what
any
I'm-
problem. That's why people have those protests where they, block traffic and do things like that. That's not illegal. That's a protest.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I believe, I'm pretty damn sure that once you cross that line and you decide to no longer be on a sidewalk and you're blocking traffic, it's no longer legal, right? I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, and when I refer to breaking windows, I'm referring to like the Tesla dealership in New York. I forget what city it was. It might have been New York City, where they were protesters all over the place, mad at Elon, right? Police were trying to keep them out of the dealership and they were breaking the windows and trying to get in there and shut the place down, right? So, but something like that, once again, that's illegal, for sure. Well within your First Amendment right to hang out on the sidewalk, chant, hold up signs, all that business, right? Perfectly fine. But once you're doing, what was it, Columbia University, where you had like tent cities, people are showing up with umbrellas and, clearly they're there to fight the police when they show up and they were refusing to leave. There's a problem with that. At that point, when you're refusing to leave by the staff telling you to, and also when the police tell you to, at that point, it's illegal, right? You're being trespassed and it's illegal. So that's what I'm saying, that people have to take that into consideration. You're not covered by the law at that point anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm
so
100%
let me
for people
give you
using their
this
rights.
because there are certain limits as far as like permits and blah blah blah, all this
Yeah.
other stuff. But if you go
Exactly.
to freedomforum.org, this gives you more information about when actual protests become quote unquote illegal. And the basis of this is if a protest becomes violent, right? That's when it's considered legal. A protester or a
Illegal.
group
That would
becomes
be illegal,
violent.
right?
Yeah, illegal. I'm sorry. Did I say legal? Illegal.
Yeah.
Illegal. I'm sorry.
I knew what you meant.
A protester or a group of people become violent. Anyone who commits an act of violence against another person, destroys or vandalizes property, or engages in other illegal acts can be arrested. And this was
So
actually adjudicated in the Supreme Court ruling in 1969 as far as Brandenburg versus Ohio. And it talks about like freedom of speech. And then it also talks about the actual threat of imminent violence, and how your speech can turn to violence, and that could be considered illegal. But everything else is within fair game.
So the protesters that are out there protesting against Trump, Elon Musk, whatever, they got to keep one another, it's so-called police each other and prevent people from doing those things that you mentioned, right? So it won't be deemed illegal. You know what I mean? So if you got some people that are doing some bad stuff, the police are going to get involved and they're going to shut it down, right? So, by all means, I hope the whole country protests against whatever they don't like about his administration. But if you're doing the things that are, in the territory of being illegal, then it's fair game. You're playing into what Trump is saying, to stop these campuses from doing, or allowing the people to protest.
Yeah. Well, listen, Redwin, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. I gotta
good.
keep
Hey,
it moving.
good
All
good
right.
chat, man.
Yeah, I
Take care.
appreciate you. Listen, you were a good change of pace for a moment, so
No problem, man. Y'all take
have
care.
a good one.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, guys, I just, I don't know. I wanted clarification on that question. There was a question that was saying, is he going to keep his oath of office? I didn't fully understand that question. I wanted to ask the question. I know that we'll talk to him again, so but we'll definitely get that question answered. W's in the chat for Haley. Haley sent a $1 donation saying, does this dude not understand protests are supposed to cause an inconvenience? That's the point. It's not illegal. On top of Trump's pardon people who protested and broke windows. W's in the chat for Haley for that $1 donation. Thank you, Haley. W's in the chat for Jessica, who sent $1 donation, saying, so it's okay that Trump pardoned illegal protesters. It's okay, but peaceful protesters can be stopped, can stop federal funding. Make it make sense. Jessica, no one can make it make sense. It just absolutely impossible to make that make sense. W's in the chat for Jessica. Thank you so much for that $1 donation. Everybody, you guys are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Far too kind. Way more kind than I ever deserve. So thank you all. With that being said, guys, I got to get out of here. I got some things I have to do. I have some things I have to do. I have an event that I have to go to. I'm super excited. I might be back later. I don't know. I'm not gonna say for sure that I will, but maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I appreciate each and every one of you that hung out with me today. Let's go raid Hector. It looks like Hector is live. Let's go raid Hector. We're gonna raid Hector. So let's go raid Hector. Guys, it has been an absolutely amazing day. Thank you all for being here. I'm trying to see for a second. I don't know if this person is going to come up. I don't think this person's going to come up. So we're just going to go ahead and get out of here. We're just going to go ahead and get out of here because I got to get dressed. I got to go. What's Hector's handle? Can someone pin Hector's handle? Please? One of the mods. Can we pin Hector's handle? Please pin Hector's handle. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Let's hit the outro.
Price, emotional stability, a sound body and tranquility.
Guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you for all of the likes, the shares, the taps, the gifts, the donations. Just thank you all for being absolutely amazing. You all are absolutely awesome, guys. We're going to go ahead and raid Hector, right? And Hector is Hector Talks, HECTORRTALKS. Hector Talks. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go raid Hector. Santana raid. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being amazing. You are absolutely amazing. I pinned it right there. Hector Talks, Santana raid.